now let's get back on Biden's dick. So
Yes.
Biden has appointed some good people to the National Labor Relations Board. And the person I'm referring to directly is Jennifer Abruzzo. Okay, so what is Biden doing with the National Labor Relations Board? This week, the federal agency that oversees collective bargaining issued a landmark ruling that expects that experts believe will make it easier for workers to form unions. All the time we talk about on the show, what is the best way to solve wealth and income inequality and the distribution of economic power? Unionization.
Yep.
So the decision, known as Chemex for the building materials company at the heart of the case, creates real consequences for employers who break the law in an effort to keep a union out. Companies have been able to union bust and pressure their employees to not join unions for so long without any consequences. Starbucks is a great example of this. There were so many Starbucks stores that unionized in towns across New York, and in response, Starbucks just shut down all the stores. And companies like this need to face punishment for these actions. Amazon, who hosts anti-union seminars in their break rooms and sometimes forces people to attend those seminars, that needs to be super enforced. It needs to be easier, and it also can't happen where companies are locking union representatives and union organizers from connecting to the workers.
Yeah, and really quick, as you're saying this, like you're saying it needs to be enforced, specifically, people need to go to jail. Because the problem is usually what happens is these companies are just fined, which makes it just a calculation, right? It's a cost-benefit analysis. It's like, okay, it's how much are these fines going to be? What are the chances we actually get caught and prosecuted versus how much can we save by preventing unions from forming? So since the calculation will often fall on the side of just preventing the union from forming, they are literally incentivized because they know what the level of punishment is going to be.
That's a great analysis.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about it from that perspective.
They need to go to jail.
Yeah, they
It's
need
the
to be
only way.
super punished.
Yeah.
Now, Biden is pushing a new form of punishment other than jail, other than fines. I wish they were going to jail, but this is what the current National Relations Board is pushing for, okay? If the company breaks the law in such a way that it warrants throwing the election results out, so if it's found that they tampered with the results, they did things that were shown to be union-busting activities, they're going to throw the elections out. The National Labor Relations Board can order the company to recognize the union without a rerun election.
That's awesome.
If they showed any form of tampering or any form of interference or union busting, the union is formed. End of story.
This is fantastic. What this reminds me of our conversation about neoliberalism a few weeks back, and comparing it to Keynesianism.
Oh yeah.
And how this is trying to embed the capitalism more into the government.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Rather than the other way around.
Yes. We're trying to embed this market society underneath another society of different types of social relationships.
Yes.
And that's what this is doing. And now experts and labor leaders are very, very happy. The president of the AFL-CIO, the American Federation of Labor, is super excited. Labor leaders hope that it will stand up and mark a shift from years past when companies could break the law knowing they were unlikely to face real penalties, like you were saying.
Yeah.
Right?
That's fantastic.
And so labor leaders are excited about this, and people on the left very often don't want to vote for the Democratic Party, and some of them are very excited about Cornel West running for president. We haven't talked about Cornel West on the show, so I'll throw him in briefly here. Cornel West was a Bernie surrogate, and he's really an incredible guy. He's been a fantastic social justice and racial justice leader in this country for a long time. And while I disagree with him on some of his foreign policy takes, he wants to disband NATO, I agree with almost all of his domestic politics, genuinely. A lot of leftists in the United States are looking to vote for Cornel West, but because they don't like Biden. But at some points, I want you to look past Biden's face and see the people he appoints.
Yes.
Because at the end of the day, Biden isn't making the real decisions that matter. It's the National Labor Relations Board and the people he chooses to represent people there. And if the labor unions are happy with the people Joe Biden supports and appoints, you should be happy with them too. Because the truth is, as a 20-year-old, 25-year-old person, who may or may not be in a union but supports unionization, we need to listen to the AFL-CIO when it comes down to matters like this. We need to listen to labor and be their ally.
I agree with that. The only thing I would say is in the midst of that, you mentioned that Biden's not the one making decisions. And even if he's not the one making decisions here, I just want to call out that's not the case overall.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, he's
just
not
to be nitpicky.
He's not a total puppet.
Annoying.
I wish he was a total puppet, but
maybe he is.
And maybe.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
We'll never know.
I'm just kidding. I don't think he's a total puppet. It wouldn't be cool if our president was a puppet. It's just a joke, guys.
I mean,
promise.
The point is that the results matter. That's the point.
That's the point, is the results matter. And it's also important who's happy from the results. If labor is happy with the results, the left should realize that and say, this is the best way for labor to get empowered in this country.
Yes.
I might disagree with Biden, but listen, if you're going to make it easier to unionize, then I'm going to back you.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Absolutely.
But I wish I want to talk about Cornel West for a second. Okay. I wish Cornel West would have ran in the Democratic primary. Because what we saw from the Bernie Sanders movement was he shifted the Democratic Party platform so much.
Yeah.
He changed the entire conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And Cornel West deciding to run for president under the Green Party, he's putting his politics in an echo chamber. Who cares what the Green Party candidate has to say? Yeah. Only people who are going to vote for the Green Party. Who even knows what the Green Party is? Only people who have ever voted for the Green Party.
Mm-hmm.
You're not expanding the listeners of your ideology.
The discourse.
And that's what needs to happen. And I'm upset that he didn't run he could have been a strong contender in the Democratic primary.
Yeah, I guess it really is kind of more trendy to not run as part of either major party. Yeah. Because it's like I'm not a puppet.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's a shame because Cornel West is not a grifter. He is as true and real as they come. He's been doing this for years and he doesn't get any benefit from it. You know, he's only gotten scrutiny. Yeah, he's made money from his books and stuff, but he gets hated on so frequently.
Yeah.
And it's not easy to be in that type of position. Again, I don't agree with him on everything, but domestic politics, he is as good as they come. His politics are from a true sense of love and equality that is unmatched by any other politician in the country other than Bernie. If you're interested in learning more about him, I don't really watch Joe Rogan ever, but I recommend listening to the Cornel West Joe Rogan podcast.
Okay.
It's actually banging.
Cool.
So go check that out.